what's cracking? Why does alcohol get a pass all the time, right? Or most of the time, right? I was talking to a good friend the other day, and I said, I had to quit alcohol. It was killing me. You know, it's a poison, right? And God bless him. He's one of my best friends, but he tells me everything is a poison. If you drink too much coffee, it's a poison. If you drink too much water, it's a poison. Yes, it's true. Even if you take too much magnesium, it can have a toxic effect, right? But even the World Health Organization, which is corrupt, they still list cannabis as a medicine. Alcohol is not a medicine. The best thing to do with alcohol is to extract plant medicine. And you're not, you're burning off all the alcohol. Cheers. Got some kava in the morning. This is a great replacement alcohol. That's when you know it's good. Get that sludge. But coffee, especially if you get organic coffee and it's not processed and shit like that, coffee has huge antioxidant properties. Of course, if you overdo it on the caffeine, it can mess you up, you know. But you can even look at history when they started drinking coffee. When they found out about coffee and tea instead of liquor, that's when some of the biggest advancements in human evolution happened. You never hear from anyone, oh yeah, I just started drinking every day and my life is getting better. Alcohol is pure poison, I don't need to offend anyone. I don't mean to offend anyone. But I don't know how many people I've lost because of alcohol. Alcohol is just as bad as fentanyl and meth. But no one really talks about it, you know what I mean? And when you go to a party or something, what's the first thing at the party? It's some alcohol. And anyone who busts out a joint or they smell like weed, someone's doing drugs, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm going to continue to talk about how alcohol is straight poison, Because it is. And I used to defend it myself. Got some plant medicine extraction going here, excuse me. I used to defend it all the time myself. I used to say alcohol would give me energy. I would alchemize it, right? Like somehow it was good for me. It's not, It's a great lie. It's a great lie. And the elites know that it's poison. I just heard this preacher talking about, he was saying it's okay to have a little bit of wine because Jesus made wine. And you just give him a little pass. And alcohol, my 2 cents, it's like playing with fire. You know what I mean? There's no way to moderate playing with fire in the forest. You start playing with matches. I did that as a kid. We were playing with matches one time, and we thought we had it under control. We fucking burnt down the tree. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here just to like, I don't know shit except for what's gone on in my life. My dad, would still be alive to this day if he wasn't drinking, a gallon to 2 gallons of vodka a day, plus beer, plus all this other bullshit. And my friend Saul Diaz would still be alive today if alcohol had not taken him at 26. He started messing around trying to get away from alcohol withdrawals, and he accidentally took fentanyl. And he didn't wake up. One of my best friends, my good friend Billy Mays, veteran. Shout out to all the veterans out there. But no one really cared. They just let him drink and drink and drink. And his pancreas was getting so bad. And alcohol does not help anything. It takes away. It gives the illusion of helping somewhat. You know what I mean? I've even had friends saying, I try to tell them about kava or kratom or cannabis. And they say, oh, kratom is so addictive. Oh, I'm not going to try kratom. I like my beers, I had this friend, Sarah. Shout out to Sarah. I thought she was my friend, but a lot of people aren't your friends. They'll be talking mad shit behind your back, and you could have known them for your whole life. You know what I mean? Even your family will turn on you. But anyway, I remember trying to tell her about kava and kratom. She's all, oh, kratom's addictive. And I said, did you try kava? And no, it gave me a headache. Yeah, well, that's going to happen if you drink every day like she does. She likes to have her beers while she's bowling. I love my beer while I'm bowling. Well, there you go. You know what I mean? And that's, no offense, but that's why you look the way you look. It will make you age just as fast as meth. I never done meth. But it will take the fucking life out of you. I've seen it in my own face. And now that I've quit drinking, my life is coming back. But I can see it, you know what I mean? And new studies, big surprise, not really, but even 2 drinks is harmful. You know what I mean? And you try and say, oh, get the flavonoids or whatever from the wine. You can still drink some grape juice or eat some grapes, and you can get that antioxidant. Go get a vitamin that has that shit in it. You know what I mean? It's just this huge rationalization to drink alcohol. You know what I mean? Let's celebrate. Oh, we're feeling good. Let's drink some alcohol. Oh, we're feeling bad like I was trying to cope with life and being a huge empath and wondering why a lot of people don't give a damn about animals, think they're overpopulated. Like Bill Gates talks about the human population. They're overpopulated. My family broke out of a cult. My dad's dead. Most of my friends are dead. Most of my friends are I found out their true colors, but I still have some really good friends. It still gives me hope in the world, but I'm going to keep, pushing my truth, my 2 cents. There's so many herbs out there, alcohol is poison. It's pure poison, and there's no rational behind it. It's black magic. And in fact, in witchcraft, if you look up these dark witch doctors, the first thing they use is alcohol, and then they add in datura, which is a deliriant. It's not a hallucinogen. All the worst, the times that I have full-blown, not pulling away from alcohol, but just in the midst of alcohol, waking up, I've been drinking. I have, the only time that I've ran into the pure evilness of life, where I felt something on top of me choking me. dark, dark dreams, horrific nightmares, all from alcohol. And the reason I said the witch doctors, they use alcohol because it opens up, it just cracks your fucking aura, right? Psilocybin, other mushrooms, it creates plasticity, builds new neurons and brain cells. Alcohol kills brain cells and just makes you, that's why a lot of people say someone who's an alcoholic sometimes is possessed. Same with meth and fentanyl, but alcohol, meth, and fentanyl, those are the most toxic things out there. And you can look at it. Don't take disputes, horrific violence, all kinds of shit. It's at the top. You can look it up. I'm not making this shit up. There's scientifically studies that alcohol shrinks your brain, the frontal cortex. You know what I mean? It's funny how someone could say, I'm very intelligent, but I like my wine. I like my beer. I like my whiskey, and it's, they know the truth. You can feel it killing your brain cells. It's one of the only things where you black out. You don't know what you've done. It's very fucking dangerous. And I've had enough of it. There's a video on YouTube, there's probably several, but you can take any alcohol from the store and you can make your vehicle run on it. It won't run, as good as but it's all ethanol, And for instance, prison wine, when they had the New Mexico prison riots, everyone went fucking nuts because they had an instant hangover from the prison wine. Prison wine is cured instantly. The faster the cure, the cheaper the booze, the faster that bitch is going to slap you in the face. And even if you have the finest fucking booze, right? I was drinking Jägermeister. And it wasn't giving me the instant hangover effects like all other liquor, But it was still seeping in and killing me. Extreme esophagus inflammation. Last time I had 2 drinks, my body's just pushing it out. Like, what the fuck is this? Our body knows a lot. Our intuition, that small voice that a lot of, society says, suck it up, take your antidepressants, right? Well, alcohol is one of the biggest antidepressants there is. It kills everything. It kills all your pain. It does great at that. It kills all the bad memories, but it kills all the good ones too. And it kills life. It doesn't differentiate. But like I said, the best thing to do with alcohol, make some plant medicine. So for instance, you get your kratom, you get your cannabis, you put it in some alcohol. You can use, I use some leftover gin for that method. Soak it, put it in the freezer, take it out, strain it out, put it on the porch, let it vape off. You can just put it in the sun if you want. Alcohol will vape off pretty quickly. And there you go. You got your plant medicine. So it has its purpose. Alcohol will kill an insect immediately. You could spray it right on it. Great for disinfecting, right? But if it can make any vehicle run, remember that Bugs Bunny cartoon where I think it was Porky Pig. He goes in this bar and there's this big tough guy there, cowboy, right? And it shows exactly what alcohol is. And they pour it and it's like, well, the bartender puts on this thing, face guard, and he's got the lab coat, like he's Breaking Bad, right? He's mixing corrosive chemicals. He starts mixing it and they drink this shit. I mean, there's firecrackers popping off on it. It just shows they're drinking alcohol. They go into a bar. What do you usually drink when you're in a bar? Alcohol. New Mexico's coming around though. We got this Kava bar. I'm going to be playing open mic over there. Kava Roots and Leaves. They serve kratom shots and kratom. And Kava. You can say kratom, pronounce it differently, but great vibes there. No one's fighting. Totally different vibe from any alcohol bar where people start getting over loud and just, it's totally different. So don't take my word for it. I don't give a shit. I'm only one person, but I'm going to keep spreading the word, and a lot of people don't like to hear it, but alcohol is fucking poison. And the more I say it, the more I'm convicted in my truth to remind myself to get that voice out of my head, like a little bug inside my head. Time to leave, you know what I mean? Because I've seen what alcohol has done to me and everyone around me, so, but yeah, kava is not going to work if you've been drinking alcohol the day before. It's not going to work the same. You can't have alcohol in your system. Alcohol lasts a long time in your system and then try to drink kava because sometimes you will get a headache. And kava is also a diuretic, so you need to stay hydrated, that'll give you a headache. But a lot of people, they'll be drinking alcohol and then they go try kava and they'll say, or they'll try kratom and they'll take too much and they say, oh, it wasn't for me, it made me sick. Well, look at how much you took. You're mixing it with alcohol. You know what I mean? You got to give the plant medicine a chance. I found this too. Because alcohol totally fucks up all your neurons, your pathways, your GABA, your serotonin, your gut. Amino acids are great. Magnesium, get magnesium citrate is basically like a laxative. It's not the best form of magnesium. But alcohol flushes 60% of your magnesium out of your body immediately, just from one drink. You know what I mean? So it just pulls your vitamins out. That's why it's good for plant medicine. It strips everything we need from the plant. And, it'll be like a wax, like I'm dabbing in this pen here. But anyway, that's another thing. I've always wanted to help people, and now that I've gotten away from alcohol, there's so many plant medicines that are great alternatives. And I'm going to try laughing at people and, look at them, because I tell you what, I got my own shit to work on. I'm not perfect. No one is in this world. And I think the sooner we get around to just realizing that we're all kind of in this mess together, and the elites have poisoned our food, processed food. That's another thing. You're eating garbage, you're going to feel like garbage. You are what you eat. That's another thing. I'm not eating any more fast food, any of that shit. I ate some Reese's the other night. I looked into it. It has TBHQ, which is a preservative. This shit will make you sick. It's a neurotoxin. So now I got like 15 Reese's Pieces, 2 packs. I'm just going to go I'll go give them to some homeless person. I ain't going to eat the shit. Pizza. I got pizza from Little Caesars, and not to be gross, but it's like a fucking bomb in my indigestion. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm all bloated and shit. Not to mention Boxer, my dog. If I give her any pizza, she starts having this gas where it's like, shit kills me, man. It's horrible. And I know she's not feeling good, You look into it, your gut is linked to your dopamine, serotonin, like 90-70% of your gut. If your stomach's feeling okay, you're feeling okay up here, So and it's going to be a challenge because I'm going to have to find a good source of meat uh, and buy it in bulk. Get back on the high protein diet instead of all this processed carbs and shit where it spikes your blood sugar. Alcohol does the same thing. You can become a diabetic very easily. It fucks with your blood sugar. But anyway, enough is enough is enough. I actually have a song I've been working on for a while. That's what it's called, and get to a point, where we start really realizing what's going on around us. And, I can't save them all. I can't save all the little dogs out here. People have told me that. People say, it's overpopulated. And I've told people my concern about homeless and addicts on the street in Santa Fe. They don't want to hear it. A narcissist and a sociopath, their brain, scientifically proven, is totally different from someone with an empathetic brain. Someone who cares. So don't feel bad about caring. Be careful with your caring, but the Creator cares. The Creator cares. So the closer I can get to the Creator and creation and helping out the situation instead of laughing, talking shit about this and that, you know what I mean? I talk about people on this channel. Yes, I do. But I talk about the cult I broke out of. Sri Gary Olson, Master Path. You're a bad man. You know what I mean? I'll talk shit on the pharmaceutical industry, the alcohol industry. Look at what you're doing. You're fucking killing people. You're serving poison. You're using, a lot of people say, oh, I'm just doing my job. Yeah, well, the Nazis did their job too, huh? You know what I'm saying? All right, peace. Ranch, Izzy Drinks. Thomas Brown, Ranch. You like the ranch? Thomas Brown likes the ranch, huh? Yeah, why don't you go back to the ranch? We're going to send Thomas Brown back to the ranch. Thank you, KK. Izzy Drinks. I don't know what the fuck ranch means, but no more ranch. All right. Peace. God bless.